Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and this week I'm in a 2023 GMC Canyon with my family. I have my wife Heather, my sons Tyler, and my son Cody. And I asked you on the comments on a post I did on this truck what questions you had. So in this video, we're gonna go through the questions. I'll stop here in a second, right about now, and show you the exterior. Right, so there's the exterior of the GMC Canyon AT4. 2-inch factory lift. You have the LED lights, you have the new grille, AT4 here, fog lamps, skid, you have these kind of a skid plate air dam situation there, plus you have the tow hooks. I guess you could call that more of a skid plate, but to me it's more of an air dam. Skid plate's really underneath. That's just kind of decoration, a chrome piece there. AT4, nice color there. There's the sun waving at us. GMC has these marker lights inside. I kind of like these. I've kind of got used to those. We have the bed, we have the step in the bed, AT4 there. This pops down, kind of nice styling here on this. I don't know what that's supposed to make out, maybe a mountain or something like that. We have the tape measure there, and then inside we have the secret storage spot. Boom, boom. Now I talked to GMC about this, and this is for accessory stuff. So you have a little screw placement there if you're going to put like maybe a net across here or something like that, or something the aftermarket's working on. Do that there. We have the spray and bed liner, and there you go. And we'll show you more of the interior here in a minute. Now let's get back to the questions. Magic how that works in video. All right, so you had 71 comments. 71. Yeah, so we're not going to answer all of them, but we'll do the best we can. So Spencer Sears wants to know, love to see all 5 seats being used, now comfortable each passenger is. Well, you're pretty comfortable.
I am.
I'm comfortable. I'm good.
Great.
5'7", 5'7". Son is 5'6", and well, yeah, he fits. Is it comfortable? Not really. What do you think there, Cody? You're a little bit shorter.
He's about 4.
Yeah, 4.5. You can fit one more kid between you, right? No. But you, yeah, right? Yeah, so I mean, you can't fit 5 adults back here. That's where you need a full-size truck. This doesn't fit. Another question was about like a rear spacing passenger car seat for a kid.
It'd be pretty tight.
It'd be really tight. You'd have to get this. You'd have to have one person. You'd have the driver. You'd have to have nobody over here. This seat all the way forward to be able to get that rear seat in.
Or you'd have to put it in the middle in the back, but have both the driver and the passenger seat pushed forward or sitting really straight up.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It would be tight, but you could do it if you had to.
Yeah, so, Zach wants to know, how's the transmission feel compared to the old 8-speed? This is the new refreshed or redesigned, they call it redesigned 8-speed. It's just been reworked a little bit. No harsh shifting, no jarring, no big deal there at all. Really pretty smooth. How do these seats feel compared to your Chevy Silverado?
Oh, no comparison. Silverado's better.
You think Silverado's better? See, I kind of think these might be a little bit better than the Silverado. No? Okay. Boys, you guys sit in the back seats of the Silverado.
Silverado, way more bigger space.
Bigger space. But what's how your butt feel?
My butt doesn't feel like it's on a rock.
So, like a rock, literally?
Feels like that I'm sitting on a walking seat inside the top of a skyscraper. Okay,
so tall skyscraper seat, but Tyler, you're not old enough to remember the Like a Rock commercials, but yeah, that's funny. Let's see. Joe wants to know, how long does it take to get used to the lights being on the touchscreen? Lights aren't bad. If you don't know this, it's right here. You press driver, there's your lights. The problem with these lights, though, the one thing I don't like about them is you have to go into vehicle, and then you go into lights, and then you can get the fog lamps, cargo lights. So if vehicle's off, you gotta turn on you can actually turn it on, go back to cargo lights, turn them on, and the fog lamps come up here as well. But that's what I don't like. I don't mind the auto lights here. I don't mind this setting here, auto off, whatever. I just don't like the cargo lights in the back and the fog lamps. And we had a really foggy day the other day. And I was driving to the golf course, and I was trying to turn on the
shocker.
I was trying to turn on the lights, and I'm like, I can't figure out how to turn these darn fog lamps on. And then I was trying to do it while I was driving, and that was not okay. And that's the thing. It's like the auto on, not a big deal. Doing the brights, not a big deal. You just flip the handle here. So if you don't know that one, so you do the brights here, on off brights, because there is no physical knob anymore for the headlight switch. So that's not a big deal. The brights aren't a big deal. That's not a big deal. It's the fog lamps, the cargo lamps. It's the accessory kind of lights. Payload numbers on this truck. I can do that real fast. Payload numbers. Are you right here in the door? Boom. Payload is 1,499 pounds. And then the question was, did GM ever plan to offer a 6-foot bed in this? And no brand's going to talk about future product. They're never going to talk about that from a PR standpoint or marketing standpoint. But I just don't see it. I think this is the crew cab. The 500-foot bed is the staple now, most things. But yeah, I just don't see this going to happen. Matthew wants to see all the distance gauge cluster layouts and the flying distance indicator. I'll show you that later on in the video when it gets dark. It's easier to see that in the garage. Okay, somebody asked about the screen. So here is your dash screen. And I have the controls right here to change it. I also have the cruise control here as well. And then I have this here. So it kind of goes through. See trip information. And then you can see what station I'm listening to. You can see the pitch and roll, the steering angle, what the transfer case is doing, two-wheel drive or not two-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive before low. You can see range empty down there. I'm in two-wheel drive. There's your clean screen, okay? And then there is the screen again. So one thing to know that I've struggled with at times with this is there's a gap adjustment here. And you can see that gap adjustment on the screen changes. This is not adaptive cruise control. It is a following distance indicator. So as you're following somebody, a green icon will show up here. Whether you're good, it'll show red if you're getting too close to somebody based on a gap adjustment. It's just a safety feature, not adaptive cruise control. Over here on this screen here, we have the HVAC system, the cooled seats. By the way, there's always questions about cooled seats. And if you hear this, you'll hear it kick on here in a second. It'll turn on. Hear that? A lot of people talk about that being a wind noise. That is just the cooled seats. It's a fan and it's cooled seats. So it is not a problem with your vehicle. I get that question quite a bit, actually. I have some wireless charger here. USB's there. Auto start stop. The who farted button. All the windows go down. The lane departure and auxiliary. That's for the bed. This who farted, it's all the windows go down. So you hold this down, all 4 windows open. They don't close. And I always call it the who farted button because that's the way. Well, that's my humor. All right. So we talked about the lights being up here. We talked about some notifications. We talked about notifications there if different thing pops up for different options there. Let's go back here to home. So we have home. This screen goes across. We have vehicle info, Wi-Fi, camera. So the camera is like this, and then you can adjust the camera different ways. Zoom in, zoom out. You can get your grid lines here as well. And the thing that you have to know is vehicle info is very important. Vehicle info is where you find your trip odometer. Yeah, there's no trip odometer reset over here. It took me about, I don't know, good 30-45 seconds the other day. Finally had to Google it, and finally I looked in the manual too. The owner's manual doesn't actually list trip odometer in it. There's no status for that, so it's kind of weird. Owner's manual, well, big failure on my part. Owner's manual should include all information inside the truck, and trip odometer is not showing up in the owner's manual. That's frustrating. We have different things about vehicle, tire, brakes, fluids, filters, engine, oil life, all that kind of stuff. Looking at that, we have go back to vehicle. I can press the button there. We have different traction control, hill descent control. I have different vehicle settings. I can get to that screen as well. This is buckle to drive, collision, comfort and convenience, lighting, power locks, remote lock, unlock start, feedback. You can remote start the auto cooled vented seats depending on how warm or hot it is. You can go over here and do seating position, and you can have seat entry memory, seat and exit memory, and then that's your overview, all that stuff we talked about earlier. You can actually click on this and actually brings up the information too. Engine air filter life. It's just kind of a cool looking graphic. This is Apple CarPlay. This is your map. This is your music, and you have stations down there, and you go through. This is this is interesting. I figured this out the other day. That is a setting for your sound. You can manage favorites. You also go into sound, and you can change equalizer, fade balance, all that kind of stuff. It sounded like the music was very much in the front for me. That's why I went through the system trying to figure that out. But it's actually set up right. So there is all that information there. So that's all the screens there on this AT4. I don't have, let's see, I don't have heads-up display. I don't have a digital rear mirror. Those are common questions people ask me. I have blind spot monitoring in this. You can see the little icon in the window on the mirror. I do have auto 4-wheel drive. That's a hit feature for a lot of GM vehicles. That basically, in the simplest layman's terms I can give you, that's auto. That's basically all-wheel drive. That's the latest I can give you. 4 high, 4 low, too high. So this auto, what it does is, like a lot of all-wheel drive systems, is when it senses slippage of the tire, it has a system in its transfer case, kicks on, engages all 4 wheels, goes into 4 high. So in an all-wheel drive system, you can have a rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive bias SUV, and they have an on-demand all-wheel drive system, and that'll click over, when it senses wheel slippage, send torque different wheels depending on what's slipping. This is just 4-wheel drive, and auto 4-wheel drive is basically like an all-wheel drive system in the simplest layman's terms. I know people are going to argue with me and they're going to have all this difference, but just for the simple average consumer, that's a good way to think about it. And no, not every automaker does it. Because a lot of times you're driving in conditions that are slippery or wet, you're advised to put it 4 high anyways. So it's kind of either, some people see it as a big necessary, they see it as a big win for GM. Other people see it as just redundant because when the weather gets kind of questionable, you should be putting it 4-wheel drive anyways, 4 high. So again, I'm gonna let you guys debate that in the comments. There is an air down mode, which is kind of cool. So you can set a target pressure for all 4 wheels. When you get to that pressure, it'll honk at you to let you know that target pressure is achieved. That's cool for off-roading because a lot of times when you're off-roading, you have less, you want to put less air in the tires, so you have more rubber going over the rocks, so it's not so sharp, so you're not popping tires. And then you have the off-road mode. This is your steering, your angle, transfer case, all your metrics there, your GPS location, elevation. You can have terrain, which shows you roll pitch, PSI of the tires, and overlanding, which I thought was interesting. It shows you elevation and it shows you a compass. So yeah, those are all kind of the big screens that's going on with this GMC Canyon. Does the steering wheel telescope enough for tall drivers with long legs? So I'm not going to be a tall driver, but I can be sort of a tall driver. So Cody, I'm going to scoot my seat back. You let me know when you're getting uncomfortable. Okay, all right. So that's as far as I got, and I can't reach the pedals, so this is a long way. But let's check the telescoping. So I'm going to pull this down. I have a manual switch. So this is it. So if you have longer legs, that's all you got. That's as far back as it goes, and that's telescope. So I'm a short position. I'm telescoping all the way out. So there's the question there. So how are none of the off-road and overlanding trucks like AT4X, AT4 Bison, and others don't offer a vinyl floor? Carpet is horrible from mud and dog hair. And you know what? I'm going to show your legs for a minute, but not because of that, but because look at all the grass we have down there. I don't know if you can see it on my side a little bit better too, but we went golfing and we got lots of grass in here from our cleats of our shoes. All right, I'm moving my seat up because my son is like dying back there.
We're about to make his legs into a stick man.
Yeah. All right, here we go. They are sharp, but have never had a good reliability record. Keep them. I don't think so. They've had pretty good reliability. Let's see a field economy test and off-road test. So I did the off-road test AT4X, or AT4 actually, and AT4X in Asheville, North Carolina. I've gotten 19 miles per gallon. I did a 100-mile drive. Ride quality and mile per gallon. Ride quality. What do you guys think? It was pretty smooth and drive out. Yeah, I mean, even for off-road tires, it was pretty smooth. Do some towing. Oh, wait. There's no receiver hitch on this. Did you know you can't get a receiver hitch unless you do the optional towing package, which I think is ridiculous because you've done like bike hauling. So towing isn't just about having a receiver hitch for towing stuff. It's about bikes and things like that to put on there. 0 to 60 miles per hour, please. I don't really do that because GPS is never really accurate, but Motor Trend has about 7.5 seconds for 0 to 60. Let's see. We talked about child seats. Take it off-road. We did the off-road. I talked about how much hard, scratchy plastic is there. Dash, armrests. I'm getting tired of the use of plastics and hard trims. So right there, right, you got the entire top and the entire bottom. Dash here. This is all hard plastic. That's hard plastic.
A fourth.
Yeah, I mean this is still good here.
Soft.
That's all soft text. Yeah, I will tell you. This is an interesting question for you, Heather. I don't mind the hard plastic here because it's easy to clean. I don't want something fancy material up here because it gets sun shaded and gets kind of nasty.
Yeah.
And with the kids, I mean, above that door, like right there, that's a hard plastic. That's where you want hard plastic. I want hard plastic like all day long. But this is nice and soft. Those are soft. The cup holder, this is hard plastic. But I kind of want that hard plastic because I don't want the scratch. I want the go on top, and if it scratches the plastic, not this nice material here, and easy to clean. So I don't know. I don't mind hard
kinda
plastics.
like the plastic.
Yeah, I don't. The plastic's not bad. It doesn't look like it's cheap or anything. Yeah.
It just makes it more rugged. Like when I get in, it doesn't feel like the luxury level. It feels more like a off-roading truck than it does. And I guess that's what the plastic would be.
When you look
Yeah.
at it, it's an off-roading truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look at I mean, off-roading wise, I want plastic that'll wipe it off. I don't want to have that. Question for anyone who has this: does the back seats have enough space for a 9-year-old kid and a 5-foot tall woman? Asking myself because I really want this truck, but the space in the back is kind of small.
Well, here you go. You have an 11-year-old kid and a 5'5"
I'm
boy.
not a woman.
Okay, clarify that. But still, what kind of space do we have back there, boys?
He is 5'5".
leg room is.
Leg room's not awesome. Yeah, I mean, but you could ride back there. It's just not the most comfortable ride.
Yeah.
So would you prefer to ride in this or the Silverado?
Silverado.
Silverado, okay.
Yeah, I think that's apples to oranges.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are trying to make mid-size trucks work as full-size trucks because they want to fit in the garage. They want a cheaper price point. Like this is $49,000.
Totally get it, but if this was a long-range kind of drive, I don't know if they'd be comfortable back there.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, but I'm seeing that a lot. Let's see. Can't do towing again because we don't have a hitch,
No hitch.
which I think is kind of just funny. Let's see. Towing specs, we talked about the payload. Can a 6-foot sit behind themselves for more than a run to the store? Can 3 adults sit in the back seat? I think we've answered that a few times. The answer is no. Not happening. Outside looks nice, but the inside looks kind of ugly.
There's
I
not
don't
enough.
know.
There's
I don't
not
know
enough
if I call
color
it ugly.
variation.
Not enough color variation. What do you think?
No.
No?
Says the colorblind.
Yeah, you're
kid.
colorblind, so that doesn't count. So, what do you think, color seeing boy? He really is colorblind.
Yeah.
It looks like it's nice. I like the materials. What do you think? I like this. This looks really good. I mean, this looks nice background. I like the way it looks. I don't.
These are kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, the inserts. Yeah, we play with those in the press
but
drives.
the pattern.
Yeah, it's got a little pattern to them. Yeah, it's
like only
interesting.
2 colors.
The gloss black, I will tell you, the gloss black in the Silverado does look dusty after a while. It does show some
Yeah.
dust.
I guess
But,
it's just rugged, not. I don't know if I'd say ugly, just rugged.
Yeah, I'm not thinking ugly at all. Headroom's fine. I'm 5'7", I'm tallest guy in the group, but headroom's okay, right? Even the sunroof.
Maybe in a few years you won't.
Yeah, maybe. See, I need you to go taller so you can answer the 6-foot questions. That's what I need. All right, I think that covers all your questions, right?
So I can finally not be a 5-foot woman.
He's really disappointed in a 5-foot woman comment, let me tell you.
Bye.
All right. That's all from the GMC Canyon. For more, check out videos over here. Website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.